I'm Patrick Bailey from whiteboardcoder.com. Today is July 15th, 2017. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to do a simple setup of a SystemD service for a Node.js application. And specifically, this is going to be just a simple Node.js Express application. So first, let's create a simple Node.js Express program. So I'll just go make a directory for this. So I'll make a directory. I'll call this Node SystemD. Okay, now if you're familiar with Node at all, we need to go make a package. So I'll make a package.json. And here I'll do a little bit of cutting and pasting. Okay, so the name of this is going to be Node SystemD. I just give it a version 0.1, give it a description, and the main app's going to be app.js. And I made it private because I'm not publicly putting this out there because it's just a simple program. Put an author, and the only dependency for this is going to be Node Express. So fairly simple. And so let me save that off. And then the next thing is actually to make my application. So let me open up app.js and start defining it. So do var express equals require. Require that express in there. Const app express app.get. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to hard code two locations. So just the generic location. And I'll do request response. Got a little cheat sheet to the side, of course. And so all we'll have this do is we'll have it send hello world. And of course, locally we'll have it do something too, just so we can test it easier. And we'll say locally it'll just output hello world. Same thing. And then we're going to have another location, because this will make it a little more interesting, is we're going to give it the ability to turn itself off, to kill the program via URL call. And so we'll do response.send showing app. And we'll also do a console.log so we can see it. Shutting down application. And then we will kill it. So process.exit. And so that will kill everything. It'll kill this running Node application. And so we'll do app.listen. Let's see, 3000 is typical. And function. And console.log. Just so it starts up. Example app listening on port 3000. Okay, and that's our application. So let me save that, then install it and run it. So I have to run an npm install to pull down all the Express apps. Oh, I don't have npm installed on. I don't have npm installed on this box. Oops. Let's go install that real quick. Okay, now let's do an npm install to grab all the Node Express stuff. Okay, so now let's run it. So we should be able to do a Node.js app.js just to run it. Oh, const app express. Did I do bad code? I think I did. Let me go see. Express. How about app.listen? That might be it. Got an extra T there, huh? App.listen. Everything else looks okay to me right now. Let's try it. That's something. Okay, what did I do wrong? Oh, there we go. I forgot. And can't see the forest for the trees sometimes. We're putting equals in there. There we go. 2 problems there. Okay, so now we're listening. So now we're listening on port 3000. And I'll go over here, and I'll leave that one up so you can see. And I'll do a curl localhost 3000. And there I get my hello world on the curl end, and I get the hello world on the console end. And so I can just do that all day long. But also I can do kill. And so that should kill the program and exit it. There you go. So the program's been exited. So now if I try to curl, I'm getting nothing. The reason I put that in there is so I can show you how to set up the SystemD to recover when the system fails. And I'm going to force it to fail via the application itself, and then let it restart itself. So there's the application. Next, let's go into setting up the SystemD. Okay, let me set this up a little more properly how you probably typically would. So first of all, I'm going to move this from just my own folder, and I'm going to move it. I'm going to move the whole. Yeah. Sudo move the whole thing to opt. Move the whole folder. So now if I go cd opt node, I should see it's all in there. Now the next thing I want to do is you probably don't want to run this as your own user. You don't want to run it as root. So we're going to make a Node.js user. So I'll just go in here and do a sudo. I want to add a group. So add a group called Node.js. Simple as that. And I will add user. Now this user is going to be special in this case. So he'll be a system user, and he'll be in the group Node.js, his own group. And also, he doesn't really need a home directory, so I'll just do a node create home and Node.js. So we'll do that. Okay, so now he exists, and I can switch to him, but let me go over here and change owner, dash capital R, Node.js, user, and group Node.js. And everything in opt node systemd that we just moved over there, we'll just make it all owned by Node.js. So now it's all owned. So now let's go make a service. So we'll go make a systemd service. I'll do sudo vi lib systemd system, and then whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call mine Node.js.service in this case. So I'll open that up. I'm going to do some cut and pasting here, but I'll kind of go over this. This is going to be a simple service. The only thing we really want it to do is to be able to restart. And I'm not going to go into all the idiosyncrasies of Node.js. I don't even know them all because there's a lot of cool stuff in Node.js, in SystemD. But we'll go over a little bit. This is kind of a simple setup. So there's our description. We can put a bunch of requirements in here. So we require network target to be up. So the network has to be running. That's a typical one we would use. And then the conditional path. I put this in here because that path needs to exist. So I want to make sure the application actually is there and it's where I think it should be. So that has to exist before this can run. It's a simple service. It's got a PID file, and it's run under this user and group. So the Node.js user, the Node.js group. And, I copied that wrong. Let's fix that. And then the working directory is going to be that working directory. So it's going to be as if it's executed from that directory, which is nice to do. And then there's the execution start. So exec start is exactly what's going to run. It's going to go run Node.js. And it might work with just that, but I just kind of like to do the full path just to make sure I'm doing the right thing. And you can do the full path because we know we're going to be working from that working directory. It's going to be Node.js and app.js in this case. So pretty simple. And what we want to do is, here's where we want to do the restart. So restart always, and restart seconds is 3. So you can change the way you do this. There's actually a lot more complicated behavior you can do. But what I want it to do is, if it is shut down, I want it to restart in 3 seconds. Now, you may want to change the way you want to do that and have it be 1 second or 2 seconds. I just hate it when you go too low and you might have things crashing and rebooting too quickly and it might get really confused. So I just put 3 seconds in there because in my particular case, anyone's particular case, if you were setting up a simple system and it was down for 3 seconds, no big deal. If you were setting up some kind of high availability system with all kinds of stuff and it should be up all the time, you might want a few more seconds because you're going to have multiple nodes. And if one node's down, the other ones are compensating for it, so it's no problem. So you don't want to have that restart too quick sometimes because you could get in some kind of strange loop. Let's see, wanted by multi-user.target, nothing special there. And then the alias NodeJS.service. That's the name of this service. It would be Node.js. And there you go. So that is pretty much everything as far as we want to define here right now. You can do more complicated stuff, but this is a good basic start. And it might be all you need. Okay, so now I've saved that. The next thing I need to do is make it executable by all. And so I'll do lib systemd. Let me see. Maybe it may not be have to be executable by all, but let me just go check what's out there right now. SystemD, system. Start off service. Maybe I don't need to. Let me see that. I just got in the habit of making it executable. Maybe I'm wrong. So let me leave it as it is. And so now I'll do sudo sys. Now the next thing you want to do. Let's see if we're okay. So we'll just do a sudo systemd, sudo system control, ctl, status. And we should Node.js. And if we hit tab, it'll fill in the rest, .service, or it'll actually just work like this. Either one works. And so now you'll see that it exists, but you can see right now it is inactive. Hit Control C to get out of that. And let's see if I can start it. So maybe I don't need to make it executable. Maybe I'm just being silly. I guess I don't. Okay. So it's running, and I can go tell it's running because I can go over here and I can probably do a curl. And there I'm getting my hello world. And there we go. Now I can go over here, and I can kill it. I can go over here, rather than doing start, I can do stop, which is telling it to stop. But if I tell it to stop, it's not going to restart. So now I go over here, and it's just down. Okay, so let me go back over here. Sorry, there we go. So let's go. Another thing we're going to do before we get too far into this to make sure we're okay is we want to enable it. Typically. Now, if you enable it, then that means it's going to it will start up the next time the system boots up. And so that's very typical of what you want. If we do not enable it, so sudo system control enable Node.js, then it will not start up next time. But now that I've done that, I can go through here and do a reboot. And it should be running after a reboot, and that's what you typically are going to want. Okay, so now we're back up. So let's see, uptime has just started again, but I should be able to do sudo system control status Node.js, and I can see it's running. And I come over here. Well, I can do it here too, I guess. I can do curl localhost 3000. I can see I'm getting my information. And now if I do a kill, it's killing the app. If I try to do a curl real quick, it's not there. You can see it's died. It's toast. But in a few seconds, there I'm up again. So it rebooted. And now if I go back to status and look at it, I can see some of the recent commands where it started. I'm getting these hello world, but I'm not getting all the, I'm not getting the logs. In fact, this is just a simple program, so I'm not logging anywhere. If you were logging somewhere, you could just go look at the logs and watch it starting and stopping. But in my case, I don't have that working for this. So what I can do is there is a thing where I can go do sudo journal control, which I believe is part of systemd too, -f. It's kind of like you're kind of like tailing the log. So -f, you're just tailing the log, and -u, and then you put the name of the service. So I'll do Node.js, and so now I'm tailing the log of that. And if I go over here and do a curl, you can see it's outputting the log right over there. And if I do a kill, took it a second there, and I killed it. I didn't get my kill message. Did I do my kill message wrong? Okay, but I can see it did die, and then it stopped, it started, and it's back up again. But I'm not getting my kill message. So what did I do? Let me see that. Sudo I opt. Did I do my kill message wrong? looks correct. Looks correct to me. Let's see, console.log. Oh, that's correct. There we go. Maybe just, I don't know. Okay, shutting down application, so now I can see it. And it shut it down, and there we go. So you can see that is a simple way to write a SystemD service for a Node.js application that is also going to handle, it does a few checks to make sure the application's there, and you can actually do a lot of more interesting things if you need to. Maybe I should go over a few interesting things. So you can do a lot more interesting things if you need to. But for right now, you can see that, hey, you can have it automatically reboot, and here's how you start. But let me pause and think for a second, and I will show you a few more interesting things you can do. Okay, one thing that I'll show real quick that's interesting you can do with SystemD is you can set environmental variables. So let me see if I can do this. Okay, so let me go back up there and open up my Node.js service. So I go back here and open it up, and what I can do here in this service is I can set an environment variable. That's only going to be set when this guy runs. So I'm using this for a client right now for a small project I'm doing. So we can actually set an environment up, and you can say, because if you're writing some bigger Node Express application, you may have an environment variable set in there to help you out that says, hey, this is running in production, this is running in staging, this is running in testing. So you can get everything done really easy in one code base. Or you can set up multiple environmental variables, or there's even a way, and it's not on the top of my head right now, but there's a way, I forget what it is. There's like an environment file. You can actually send it a file to do things. There's a lot of advanced things you can do in here, but we'll just use this. So I'm going to set up one environmental variable. It's going to say it's production. So I'll save it. Now, the minute I save that, though, since I have changed things, if I try to do anything with that, system control status, Node.js, it should give me a warning. So there it goes. It says, here's your warning because you need to reload this because it's changed. So to do that, I can do sudo, it tells you exactly how to do it. Sudo system control daemon reload, which I believe will reload everything. So you could actually change multiple things if you wanted to. So now we should be good. Okay, we're good. And so now if I reload this, if I restart it, if I reboot my computer or restart the service, I should now have that environmental variable. But nothing's actually changed yet. So let me do sudo switch user, do Node.js, and I can do a vi opt node systemd app. There we go. So I'll just edit this as that character, and I can go down in here, and I could probably say, oh, this is owned by system. No, that's not. It's owned by Node.js. I should be reading right. It's read only. Why let me be read only? Oh, I didn't switch though. So switch user Node.js. I don't know why. Oh, I might want a shell. Okay, in that case, yeah, the way I made this user, they don't have a shell, which is a nice way to do it because you don't want people to log in as this user, and it's another way to protect it. But now I'm that user. So let me say, there we go. Oh, my hot. There we go. So now I can come down in here, and now that I know that's what I want, copy some of the code I have around. Okay, you have to forgive me for a second. I was thinking of the config package, which I'm used to using. If you're not familiar with it in Node.js, there's a config package that you can use. And what you do is it only looks actually, that package actually, when you set it up correctly, is looking for the environmental variable called node environment. And so it grabs whatever that is, in this case, in this example, production, and then it will actually use the production.properties file and all the configuration files using that. So that's what I'm used to. And so I was thinking along those lines. That's why I set it up like that. But I don't want to set that all up for this simple example. So I had to go back in there and figure out how to get an environmental variable. And the easiest way to do that is do this: process.env. Whatever your environmental variable is. So in this case, it's node_env in my case. So what I can do is just to prove that works. So I've already uploaded this and fixed it. And so now if I actually do a curl for that, I get that production back. So I can go down here and I can say if the variable equals production, right? And then I want you to do some stuff. Production. We'll just do a simple one for test. If it equals test, let's just do hello world. So let's set it up like that. So now if I run it right now, it's in production, so I should get production hello world back. Yeah, because I did change that on that, and I did reload the SystemD service, so we're all good. So now if I run this, I should get, oh, you're not gonna, okay, let me restart. You do a sudo system control restart, and restart Node.js. So now there I got the production hello world. And so I'll keep getting that because that environmental variable is set in there. But now if I go in there and change it, let me change it over here. We'll change it to test. Let me exit out of that user. And there we go. Okay, open that up. And rather than be production, we'll change it to test, which is going to require us to reload that daemon. And it's also going to require us to I can do it on sudo. We have to restart our SystemD service. Node.js. There we go. So restart it. And so now I should get back test. Boom, test. And if I change it to something else, it would just be something else. So that's there are many features and cool things you can do with SystemD. I just wanted to point that out. That's one interesting thing you can do to make sure you have the correct environmental variables. And I use that right now to set that one environmental variable that's actually used by the config tool that I use. So, well, there you have it. That's how you can set up a simple SystemD service to run your Node.js application. And it will also monitor it and reboot it if it goes down. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a like. To subscribe, just click the subscribe button. Also, you can follow me on Twitter under the handle @whiteboardcoder.com. View any code I may have thrown up as a gist at GitHub under the username PatmanDenver, or check out my blog site at whiteboardcoder.com.